Going through the Forbidden Forest is one of my favourite things to do within Harry Potter's Magic to Awaken, but the major thing that you really need to get right is choosing your spell bonuses correctly. There's a few tips and tricks that I'm going to show you today to get the most out of the bonuses that you're using within the forest so you can progress all the way to the end and absolutely melt your opponents and just finish these with ease. So I'm just going to let this play behind me, and pretty soon you'll see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going in solo to do the Deathly Dell. I have a video on exactly how to do this, which I'll pin straight up above now. But if you do know how to do this solo, this is just a little bit extra on top of that. Once you go in, you'll get your original pick of what spells to get boosted. If there is no spell on there, well, not no spell on there, if there isn't Fiendfire or Aguamente or Crucio in this first one, I would scrap it. Just pick whatever. As you see here, none of those are good. I'm just going to click whatever, click select, go up to the top, leave, get out of there. Rinse and repeat. Continually do this until you get Aguamente, Crucio, or Fiendfire. Any of them are amazing. I would choose Aguamente over the others. Just for me at the moment, I feel like that is by far the best. It melts your opponent. Fiendfire and Crucio just as good, but either way, they are what you need to be picking at the start. They are hands down the best DPS, best ones you need. Can't push that into your heads any more than I am right now. So right now, at the moment, there is a little event going on. As you can see up there, there's a little goblin running around with some treasure on its head. This is giving you extra gold. Make sure you get in there every day. Go and do at least one run, or however many runs it takes you to get the amount of gold available each day. I think it's about 500 gold. It is worth it. Get in there, do one run. I know you're probably going to be playing and do a run anyway, but get in there and get the free gold. An extra 500 gold for nothing. You're going to be doing this anyway. This, I believe, comes around like every 4 weeks. So they have like a rotation of events, and this seems to be one that comes back and comes back again. So you will continually see this gnome coming out every now and again. So as we can see here, my next 2 events that I can go into is a really low one where I get a shit upgrade, or one over here which is an exploration which gives me a rare upgrade. If you get to this point, go the exploration. I know you miss out on some coins, but you get a better bonus. Bonuses are more worth it by far than the coins, because eventually you may not even have enough things to buy with the coins. You need to get your upgrades as much as possible. So go down the path of the exploration. There is only a couple of different avenues to go down. If you get the dog, make sure you sing the lullaby. If you get the 2 guys fighting, make sure you intervene. At the moment, I can't think about if there's any others off the top of my head. If there is, let me know down the bottom. I'll pin these in the comments for you. But they're the 2 main ones that you seem to get. Make sure you do the right one and you get a rare upgrade or a rare bonus. Another thing, if you're the leader and you're trying to pick the level you want to go to, rule of thumb is always pick the hardest one. The only time where this does not apply is maybe if you get the crow level. Most people do not know how to deal with that level and just steer well clear of that level. Go for something else, but make sure you really want to make sure that you go for the hardest levels, because you want to boost your cards as much as possible. If you're working as a team, or if you know the strategies to beat all the bosses and beat all the opponents, the hard levels aren't really that hard unless you're facing a level too high for your spellbook, but that's up to you. Make sure you just pick the hardest levels. I think is the best way to go. Plus, in between levels, make sure you give your team members time to change their spell cards, because not every match needs the same spell cards. Some need Ventus, some need Inflatus, and you need to go and change your spell cards up in between battles. Otherwise, you'll go in and people won't be ready. I've had it before. It loads up and we're already going to the next one. Maybe that's because of my ping a little bit, but like I had no chance to change cards, and I'm like, I need to change. My cards are useless for this battle. So make sure you let your teammates change their spell cards, and you even change your spell cards when you go to a different level. Not all spell cards are useful everywhere, except for Aguamente and Crucio. The more you control cards change from battle to battle. If you get the option to go to this trader one right here, make sure you go to that one. Take it over everything else. Go and upgrade your spells to get extra damage. Go and upgrade your damage and your health to make sure you stay alive and continually hit more damage. If you want to get some other upgrades, by all means, go and do that. Just don't waste your coins on things that aren't worth it. So the way that I usually do it is I buy my 2 DPSs up the top here, my Fiendfire and Crucio. You usually get cards up here that are ones that you have leveled up. Then I'll come and do this attack damage down here and health damage down here. These are all stackable, so you can buy Fiendfire and Crucio again and get 4 levels higher. And then the attack up and health up is also stackable, which these are imperative to helping you finish the game. I would take this over the rest stop any day of the week. The only time I really usually rest if it's only one there and I need health. Other than that, I'd probably use potions within the battles to get my health up quicker, because you can get a lot of health up really quick, and you can use one of those heal pots in every single battle once. And then you've got the other potions that you can do in between battles that don't heal you as much. The in-game potions are super useful. I have said this before in a video, but this is for all you guys that haven't seen that video before. But when you're going through the Deathly Dell, I picked Fiendfire for this run first because it popped up first, and I was just keen to get in and start going. Think about if this one right now had Fiendfire in the middle with Crucio on the left-hand side. At the end game, I would really like to have both of those cards leveled up to some extent. So instead of going down Fiendfire, I would choose Crucio, because I'm really early in the Deathly Dell run still, and I still have enough time for Fiendfire to come back up and get to gold and then get to legendary again. And I also then have Crucio on the line going up and again. So from my experiences, if I passed on Crucio, I would have little to no chance of it coming up again. Whereas if I pick Crucio, then I have a higher chance of Crucio and Fiendfire coming back for me to choose them both and level them up. In this run, that does happen. My Fiendfire comes back, I get that up to gold. My Crucio comes back, I get that up to legendary. So you just be really mindful of what you're picking. If you pass on a card, it's more than likely not going to come back for you again. So if you do at the start get 2 blues, get a Crucio and then an Aguamente, make sure you pick the one you really want to go with, because you're more than likely not going to get the other one again. So as you can see, I got fairly lucky and got the option of both of them getting up to legendary. I wish they weren't on the same page like this. I know that I said that there's a big chance of it being able to come back again if you don't pick it, but I'm only like 2 or 3 levels away from the final boss, so I have to pick, and this was pretty much my last pick. I went with Crucio because I do feel like it's better for the end bosses down the line, but this is all up to you. Fiendfire is an absolute beast as well. If you can keep it alive for a long time, it melts the opponents continually. That decision is up to you. I know they both come at the same time, but there is high chance that when you go through the Deathly Dell, you are able to get 2 cards bonused to max legendary if you get the right rolls. Your best bet is to try and get 2 DPSs and then just get a couple on control over here, but it all depends how the dice rolls, because sometimes you get those other bonuses that up your MP and all that other stuff. I may do another video on that later, but I feel like that's just personal preference as how you like to play. But we're just focusing on these cards right now. Obviously, a big part of this whole thing is building your deck correctly. As you can see, this is the deck that I pretty much take into every one. I don't have Aguamente in here because I have Fiendfire and Crucio leveled up. If I had picked Aguamente, that would flip in for one of those two. So your deck has just got to be fluid. Whatever you get enhanced, make sure that comes into your deck, but make sure you switch Inflatus and Ventus and Venom in for whatever cards you need or whatever battle you're coming up against. Like you just need to be open and see what you're going against, change your spells to suit, and just get around the strategy and work out what needs to be done. Work well as a team. Talk to your teammates if you're in a team. If you're solo, just know what your strategy is before going into the battle. If there's anything you think that I've missed, let me know in the comments down below. But that will be it for today, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you later.